Foot at the garden, rocking out the donuts. Wow.
Donuts this morning, and I have to tell you that really, really good.
It's the best donut I've had.
Man, I tell you what.
Can't even remember.
That if you're a fan, if you're from the Southeast, and you remember Krispy Kreme donuts,
yeah.
Well, you're in for a treat if you go over there and get their donuts. So now that we've managed to get Mark out of the studio, we can start talking about him. I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're going to be talking with Chris and Jamie about several things, but what we're going to start off with is this organization called Nutri Hogar. And we're putting the thing up in front of the video, if you can see it. If you're not watching the video, don't worry about it, because I will download it and I will put it on my YouTube channel and I will post it everywhere. And then you'll get to see why sometimes people tell me I have the perfect face for radio. So anyway, I'm gonna read this. This is a little promo thing here from Nutri Hogar. I'm gonna read it, and then we're gonna talk about whatever it is that we need to focus on. So the main objective of Nutri Hogar is to save preschool children, and this is newborns up to 6 years of age, from severe malnutrition. We've had enough people on the show talking about the problems of poverty here that you should know by now that malnutrition is a major concern here. It's a severe problem that affects the poorest sectors of our province here. And in Cherokee, 40% of the population lives in extreme poverty, where the districts of San Lorenzo, San Felix, Remedios, and Tolea being the ones that have the highest incidence of malnutrition. And these facts place Cherokee as the province with the highest poverty and malnutrition levels in Panama. So Nutri Hogar is a non-governmental organization, and they operate nationwide throughout Panama. And each chapter is responsible for funding the operational costs of its recovery center. Now, Nutri Hogar Cherokee is located in David. Again, it's a non-profit organization that treats severely malnourished children who are transferred from the malnutrition ward at Hospital Materno Infantil Jose Domingo de Obadia. The Nutri Hogar Cherokee Recovery Center boards and feeds over 40 children every day, supplying every child's needs for medicines, dietary supplements, and education, and much love. A child's stay at Nutri Hogar depends on the degree of malnutrition, but it usually ranges from 3 to 8 months. This is how long it takes to get a child healthy. The treatment of children suffering from malnutrition requires a very specialized diet. It has to be adapted to the specific needs of each child, and at Nutri Hogar, a medical team periodically supervises the children's development. They provide vitamins, medicines, and other treatments until recovery is completed. So once the child is healthy and returns home, Nutri Hogar takes it a step further and provides an educational program with the whole family. And this program helps in the prevention of other malnutrition cases and serves as a community awakening to other parents. And we're going to be mentioning the website, and we're going to put all this on Facebook too. So for more information, visit www.nutrihogar.org. That's NUTREHOGAR.org. And later, when I post our weekly picture of my guest, I'm going to put that information in there too. So there's no way that you're going to be able to miss this. And there's more, but I think we could probably get to. There goes my coffee. We could probably get to both Chris and Jamie to talk to us about this. So, welcome, Chris and Jamie, to the show.
Thanks for having us out.
Yeah. So,
can you believe that?
Can I believe that?
What you just read? Is that's
I've had one of our I guess much repeating guests on the show is Brandy Gregory.
Yeah.
And she works with, as you know, with the Handicap Foundation and a few, and she's filled us in several times on the general problems with poverty, and hers is more along the lines of
keeping it
warm. But this addresses a problem that is also very severe, malnutrition, as you know, that will kill you.
Yeah. And at that age, the malnutrition can cause permanent brain damage, which is sad.
You don't come back from that.
Yeah.
So, Jamie, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
What can you tell us about? And I know you have some other things that you want to go through too, but let's start off with Nutri Hogar. This problem seems to be almost concentrated in our province in Cherokee. Is there? Do you know why? Have they told you that yet? I know that you've just gotten involved with them, so
yeah, that's more like in the indigenous in the comarca.
in the
They
Camarcas.
have more that problem. Yes, and they are just trying to help all these kids when they know about they are not in good physical condition.
Yeah.
They take them for like a few months to see how they are going and give the attention that they need.
Well, that's that. When you hear about when someone hears about malnutrition, usually what you think of is what you would see maybe on TV or the news. You know, they've got
Well, Ethiopian children.
yeah, they take them into the hospital and then give them fluids and feed them, and then they let them go home a week later. But this is a very long term. You know, 3 to 8 months is a long time. So if I had to speculate, this malnutrition is not just something of they haven't eaten in a few days. This is a systemic problem.
Yeah.
That from birth, onward. To all the children, you said something about 40. They take 40 at a time.
Yeah, they have 40 beds in the place, like 40 kids.
Every kid has its own special diet. Like the one child might need something different than the other child, for example. So it's a very specialized feeding program. It's not just like everybody gets the same. So they're taking donations this week. And actually what they told me is this month is the month that they raise the money and the funds for the whole year.
Wow.
That's the big month.
And it takes
a big push then.
Yeah, $25,000 a month is what it costs to operate that place.
Wow.
So you can imagine how much they need.
Yeah.
So
this is a nonprofit and it's not a government agency, so they rely completely on donations.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Survive with donations, a lot of donations.
So this week they're actually today and tomorrow and Sunday
Yeah, today and tomorrow they are doing some.
Where are they?
They are in Arrocha, the pharmacy El Terronal.
Okay, that's down in David.
Yeah, and they are in Super Baru.
In David.
Yeah, in David. And they are too in the city mall, the big mall in David too.
So if you're down in David, stop by those places. If you're getting something for your house anyway, you can pick up some Pampers or some special milk. There's a list.
Yeah.
That they have them there, and there's people there to greet you and they can show you where it is. You just buy it right there and give it to them.
Yeah, and this weekend is, I guess, Panama's version of Black Friday.
Black Friday.
So I know a lot of you guys are going to be down in David this weekend. I know several of you who have told me you're going down to David to take advantage of those sales. So you know what? You can do with all the money you save.
Right.
That's right. That's right.
Tomorrow they have the collection. For they will go on the road to collect some money from all the people that want to help.
Okay, so that's
tomorrow, all day.
And are they going to be up here in this area in Boquete or just around David?
Around David.
So we're helping the people who say, "Oh, I wish I could go, but my car broke, or I don't want to ride the bus, or whatever." You can go to Baru here in Boquete, and you can buy any of the products which we'll post. And we've already posted the lists, and you can go and drop that off at Boulder 54, Mama Yena Hostel, Tap Out Sports Zone, or Big Daddy's.
Yeah, we will.
And there's little buckets there, and you can drop off the different items here in Boquete. So no excuses, right?
No, none at all. And I see you got a poster over here. Let me see if I can. Maybe if you can get that up to the camera there, if you can just hold it up. I don't know if you can see it or not.
There we go.
There's a poster, and you'll be able to see this video later. But so it's money is being collected at Big Daddy's, at Boulder 54, at Hostel Mama Yena. And Tap Out, and this is going to be going on. It says here the whole month.
Yeah. We're doing so the push in David is just this week, but we're gonna continue the push for the rest of the month, and so that way, this is a cool cause.
Yeah, it is.
It's for hungry children. So
you don't get any more philanthropy.
right.
That's kind of on the top of the list, right?
Yeah.
It's interesting to me that this problem exists in around us. You know, and we might not see it because most of us who live here or aren't from here, most of us expats, we have our favorite places to go. You know, we have the things where we shop, where we eat, and we get in our car, in our house, and we drive to the next spot.
Right.
And we don't really often get out of our little comfort zone.
Yeah. Like, you know, you go to the fridge and you're like, it's full of stuff.
It's full of food,
but you're like, there's nothing to eat.
Oh, I know. I was doing that last night. I was laying in bed last night. I'm like, man, I'm hungry. I opened the fridge and I'm like, there's nothing to eat. And my wife was like, are you kidding me? You can't put anything else in there. You're just lazy. You don't want to cook anything.
Right.
That's a whole other story. But I've been up in the hills here, though, several times. I've taken tours with some people from other charities. And on the way down to Bocas, going through the I guess it would be the western end of our province.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped at several places to take some pictures and some video for a documentary. I produced this little documentary on the Ngami Bugle, and yes, you can find it on my Facebook page.
Really?
It's 6 minutes long. You can watch it.
Oh, cool.
But,
you know, I named my dog after the Nobe Bugle language.
You did?
I did.
What's your dog's name?
Omutu.
Omutu.
It means little baby pig.
Little baby pig.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
I named my little dog Pepita because she's so tiny. When I stand up and look down on her, she looks like a chicken McNugget. and someone said, hey, you know, the Spanish word for nugget is Pepita. I'm like, that's her name now.
Right.
That's her name. But anyway,
that's awesome.
I was up through there, and I had gotten a chance to talk to a few people. I had someone with me that spoke their particular dialect, and they were very reluctant to talk to me. And I had to get permission to take pictures. And
really?
You just go in there and take pictures.
Yeah, right. You need to ask.
I saw, you know, may I take your picture? I had someone ask them, may I take it? And two or three of them allowed me to take their photograph. The rest of the pictures I had to take from the road. But you don't get a sense of the poverty.
Yeah.
Even from driving down the road, you know, if you ever have an opportunity to go to one of these comarca villages, it's overwhelming. You know, when you see how they live, and all you can think of is, you know, there before the grace of God go I. You know, we got a full refrigerator, and here we are complaining about nothing to eat, and this is a systemic problem. And I had the opportunity to go into a couple of these places, and I was speechless. There was, you know, what do you say? What do you do? How do you react? This is so foreign to foreigners, but it's so foreign to just the general human condition when you're looking at people living in tarps, in tin shacks, and there's no food. There's just no food. You know, they have a coconut to last them 2 days.
Yeah.
So when we talked briefly about this earlier, this thing, and I wasn't even aware that this place was existed. And when I was reading through the copy that I read earlier, the 40%.
That's a lot.
That's almost half the kids in this entire province.
Yeah.
That are living.
A lot of kids, yeah.
That are living well below. And I don't even know what the poverty line is here. I mean, the only point of reference I have is in the United States. And the poverty level in the United States is almost wealthy here.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's like 12. It's like 12 or 15,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of money.
Right.
Here.
It is, yeah.
What this organization, this Nutri Hogar, what does Nutri Hogar stand for? Anyway? Was it in English?
Nutri Hogar.
What does that mean?
Does that mean anything in English?
In English, Nutri Hogar is like a home, like a safe home.
Safe home. Okay.
Okay. So these
is the first word, nutrition.
Okay, so it's like an acronym.
Okay.
So these children now, you get 40 beds and tens of thousands of children.
Wow.
How do they go about? Do you know? I mean, like I said, I know that you've just become involved in this, and if I'm sure the information's on the website, but if you know, how do they choose which child goes?
Well, they have all that information with the hospital in David. They are related with the hospital in David, and that's how they know.
Okay.
That will go like with the father, with the permit from the father and all that.
Okay, so
It's
there
just
is
like a
a
process.
So they work with the hospitals.
they work
Yeah,
with the
they work with the
hospitals.
hospital.
And then the how they choose, I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
Well, I would
I'm not
imagine.
sure, really,
I would imagine if someone comes in that's
depending on the grade of the nutrition.
Yeah, that must be tough telling somebody, no, I'm sorry, I don't have room for your child.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that? Having to be that person that has to look at a little hungry baby and say, I'm full.
Yeah.
That has to be a tough job.
And it's $25,000 a month for 40 beds. That tells me that there's a lot that needs to be done for each child.
Well, there's a lot of staff that, I mean, these are young children, so they have to have 24-hour supervision.
And
So,
different specialists and whatnot.
yeah, so it's not an easy thing that they do, but it certainly is an amazing thing that they do.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, it's sometimes you lose sight of these types of problems. Particularly if you're an expat and you come here from an otherwise very wealthy country, and we think sometimes when we look at our bank accounts and we're like, oh, I've only got so much in the bank, I don't have enough money, and then that's like 10 years worth of income to some people here. And I think it's very easy, and it's not anything that we would do maliciously, but I think we lose sight of how fortunate we are here. And that we could take advantage of such a beautiful country. When opportunities like this come up, to give us the opportunity to help, to take, what we have and help others that really without services like this would probably not have a very long life.
Yeah.
Brandy was telling me that as far as the work they do with the things that they knit with the hats and the blankets and all, some of these babies, they come in wrapped in newspaper. This is all they have.
Yeah.
And it can be very overwhelming when you hear, what do you do? How do you even begin to tackle that level of need? And then you have agencies like this. And I know 40 beds might not sound like a lot, but
that's 40 lives that they're saying.
That's 40 lives. And over the course of a year, that's probably about 100 and 120, because I know some of them stay 8 months, some of them don't stay that long.
Yeah,
but that's 100
longer.
But we posted some. So we did an event for these guys at Boulder, I don't know, 2 months ago, and the photos that we posted from literally, we were even accused of false photos. I mean, you could not tell the difference between when a baby came in and then after eating for
properly.
Yeah. It's I mean, you see it on the dog camp. I just saw one recently. It's like, wow, that dog and this, it's night and day. It's the same with the children. It's unbelievable, the transformation.
Well, these families, they don't have the ability to jump in the car, go to the doctor, get an exam, get a prescription, go to the pharmacy and get your medication, then go over to the grocery store and get all the proper fruits and vegetables. That's just not even an option. It's to the point where that may be to us, it's only, $100.
Yeah.
Well, $100 to a family living in the comarca can mean, a month's worth of income.
Yeah.
If there's any at all. A lot of them are living off of just the resources that are available on the land. And the economy does not allow them to do that. And I just wish that we would get to a point here in Panama to where the government would be able to take more of an active role in these. I'm not into to politics. I'm not a political guy. I don't know how all this works, and I don't know even how the funding works here. But I do know that $25,000 a month is probably not considered a very, very substantial amount of money on a national governmental, but there are so many of these places throughout the whole country. And I don't know, and maybe that's something that we should look into, or I'll look into, but this organization, Nutri Hogar, is not just asking questions, well, what do we do? How do we do? They're actually doing this, and they're providing the nutrition and the medical care. And it's really worthwhile to support this. These collection that you said over at Tap Out and at Big Daddy's in Boulder and at Mamiena's. Are these like buckets that are out or collection plates or?
Yeah, the people bring stuff and just put it there.
So the staffs at all the places have been, they know what to do with it. They're expecting the donations. Yeah.
Now, if someone wants to donate cash, if they say, "Look, I don't have any of these things, and I don't really have the time to get to the store.
Yeah.
I've got cash."
We can put you in touch with somebody that with the organization
that will take.
They will take the money.
They'll take money.
Yeah.
Or a deposit by banker.
So I'm in a little group here with the Nutra Hogar.
Oh.
And you can see some of these kids like
they're on Facebook.
I think they're on Facebook.
Or is that the website?
This is WhatsApp, but I mean, like this girl, Lila, sorry. She's 3 years old. She came in September 3rd, and she weighs 9 kilograms. That's like 18 pounds.
Wow.
73 centimeters. Not sure what that is in inches or feet.
It's about 3 feet.
3 feet.
Something like that.
Anyway, but
I'm terrible. I don't know the conversion. I can't even do temperatures yet.
Right.
Look at this little guy.
Tell me it's 21 degrees. I'm like, oh, that's cold.
Anyway, so if you're just tuning in, you can go to City Mall. You can go to Super Baru. All these are in David. They'll be around from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. to buy. You can buy the stuff in the place.
Do you have? And I don't know if it's even on here or not. I have some of these cards that you gave me. What particularly they be looking for? I know you can get that information when you get down there. There'll be a list of things.
Yeah, they have a list in there that they can read it.
But if I had to imagine, it's probably going to be things like diapers and.
What they more need is like things like diapers and milk, the milk that they use.
Okay, so
Pipes.
yeah, that would make sense. I guess if they're going to be providing, I keep knocking my coffee cup over. If they're going to be providing special meals, that's going to take some supplies. So
yeah, I'm trying to put up the list here.
Okay, Chris is looking for that now on his phone, but we do a lot. I do a lot of shows here that focus on volunteer organizations, and one that's very important doesn't mean that the others aren't important, and sometimes that's overwhelming too. There's so much need, especially when it comes to children, and especially when it comes to the indigenous. I'm looking at a picture, a before and after picture.
Holy,
it's like a whole different child.
That's amazing, huh?
I mean, that top one looks very jaundiced. Wow, that's And then this I'm going to post links to this later when I promote the show on social media. But it's really difficult.
Can you believe that's the same baby?
That's the same baby. Yeah, send me that on WhatsApp, Chris.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to add that to my video.
Okay.
You might have, I guess, well, what do I do? Who do I donate to? I have a certain amount of money, and then there's this charity, this charity. And yes, there's a lot of need here, but you know what? Don't look at it in terms of what you have to pick. They're all very important. And this one obviously is very important. Maybe if you have a charitable donation amount in your budget, and some of us do, and it's not a lot, maybe $50 or $100 in a month that we set aside, to help out the various causes that are here. Split it up.
Exactly.
Give $20 here, give $10 there, $20 here, whatever. And a lot of the times, and on and off, I know that Chris has had various specials over the year and a half that I've known him at its different restaurants for different things. And some of the events that you have, I know that a portion of the proceeds go to, and that's why we call you the Prime Minister of Promotions.
Oh wow!
And all that.
I'm just doing my part.
Well, that's the thing. And I don't know if you realize, if those of you who are listening or now watching realize to the extent that Chris is involved in this community. And you've been here. How long have you been here? Like 8, 9 years, 10 years?
Been in the country for 10 years. In Boquete about 6.
So this is definitely your home.
Yeah.
Chris ain't going anywhere, but I know that we have a lot of fun on the show, and there's a lot of really cool things that go on at Big Daddy's and Tap Out and all that. But behind the scenes, there's also a lot going on between these three places, and to some extent, the resort.
Yeah, we use that to give a lot of giveaways for these events. I mean, right now I have schedules. The Saturday, that's tomorrow, is another. It's a karaoke charity event at Tap Out.
Those are fun.
For it's a '60s karaoke event.
I don't even remember the '60s.
I don't either.
Touche.
But there's proceeds are going to it's a group called
Ángeles de Luz.
Angels of Light. It's a children's organization. Next Wednesday we have something for the city to put flowers in the park. And then through the rest of the month we're doing the Neutral Hogard collection. We just did now this is super cool. This to actually go and see. I mean, we do events often, but to actually go to the place and be able to be a part of it. We just raised money for there's another one called God's Shoes. Zapatillos de Dios. Then these guys, they buy shoes, brand new shoes, and they go and they put them on the children.
Wow.
So I get to go next weekend, I think, and actually be a part of putting those shoes on.
Probably never had a pair of shoes.
Yeah. So that actually it's it. They you have a big family, and the brothers have to share shoes. Okay, you're going to school today, and you get the shoes today.
Yeah.
I mean, could you imagine having to live like that? It's just like we take so much for granted.
I know. I don't even want to tell you how many pairs of shoes I have in my closet.
Right.
Yeah.
I just
do you have a shoe habit, or
I have a shoe rack that's got 4 shelves on it.
Holy
and I have I have a walk-in closet, and I have one I guess floor to ceiling, which looks like it could be a bookshelf.
Yeah.
And half of that.
Are you part woman?
It depends on who you ask, I guess. No, I have this thing for work boots. I don't know what it is. I can't, but it's not all me. My wife's got a few shelves. Okay. But yeah, we do take advantage of that. We can walk into there's this vent to the patio. There's got to be 300 or 400 pairs of shoes in there, and they're like $1 or $2 a pair.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if any of these charities that you support, I know you just told me they buy new shoes, but there's a lot of used shoes here. There's a lot of shit.
We go shopping in your closet. That sounds like.
Go shopping in my closet. If there's anyone in the comarcas that need a size 13,
oh yeah, wow,
I can give it to you with a pair of oars. But no, it's interesting because my wife and I we like going on these little day vacation things, and we'll go to these various spots. And we were in Gualaca a few weeks ago. There's this place down there. I can't remember what it's called. It's really cool. I don't know if it's new or not. You can jump off these rocks.
Do you know that Jamie is she says tours through Malaguena. Travel.
Los Gangli, what is it?
Los Angilones de Gualaca.
Dude, yeah, that's where we went.
It's a beautiful place.
Oh, it's fantastic. And
is that the place that the water was too cold and I didn't get in?
Yeah.
Everybody was making fun of me, and I'm like, nope, too cold. It's cold. Did you touch it?
Went in. No, she was in there.
It's not cold.
She's in there swimming around with the fish, and I took a video. It's a beautiful place, and when you go there and you park, you go down these stairs. And they're kind of half.
Yeah.
In the rocks and half, but the last 6 feet, there's no railing. So I get to the bottom of the stairs and I turn around and here comes all these old women down the stairs. I stood there for a half an hour helping people down the stairs. And then this big guy comes down. He's carrying this huge cooler. I'm like, there's no way, because that last step is 1 foot deep.
Yeah.
So I took the cooler from him, set it down, helped him down, and he opened the cooler up, and he gave me a libation.
Nice, fantastic.
So I was like, all right, that was worth it. But here's the thing that this is that tie into the shoe thing. I'm in the parking lot, and I'm wearing my shoes. I have a pair of Dickies here, and they're a little worn on the bottom. And I'm walking over these rocks, and it's hurting my feet through the shoes.
Wow.
And here I am. I'm like, oh man, this is to hurt. And then I look over, and here's this woman, this Panamanian woman, holding, and I'm guessing she was indigenous from what she was wearing, and she's holding a child, and she's just walking really fast over this parking lot barefoot. And here I am complaining that my $75 shoes hurt my feet because they're wore out. And here's this person just may never have owned a pair of shoes.
Right.
And I'm thinking to myself, how could you do that? How you must have some serious calluses on the bottom of your feet. But for it to get to that point, that's what I started thinking about.
Yeah.
Has this person ever had a pair of shoes? And maybe you look at it in one way and you smile because, you know, here's someone who was adapted. But once you get past that, there's a lot of injury that could happen.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, with that, I know you can build up calluses on your feet. Granted, I get that, but there's also like broken glass there. There's sharp rocks and whatnot. And if you're a mother and you've got several children to take care of and you're their only means of care, and now you have, you know, a septic, you know, blood problem because you stepped on something.
Yeah. Didn't they? You were in the military, right?
Yeah, I was in the Marine Corps.
Didn't they train you to take care of your feet in a battle?
Yeah, well, that's, you know, it's called well, they used to call it swamp foot. I don't know what it's called now, but dry socks and keep feet dry.
Yeah.
That will take you out.
Yeah, you know, I have a. There's something probably shouldn't say this on the air, but I have an addiction of socks.
Oh, that's cool.
I can't with that.
Yeah.
I like wearing socks like once, and then I buy new ones.
Oh.
Yeah.
It just feels nice, you know.
Yeah. No, I get it.
It's kind of weird, but
no, it's not. No, it's not weird. I have. Well, yeah.
Anyway, but we probably get back to the children.
The children. Yeah.
Nobody wants to hear about our feet anymore.
That'll be a whole other show.
Let's do it. I love it.
But no, seriously though, you know, it's if someone gets an injury, if a parent and at this point, let's just be honest, it's usually women that are taking care of these families, gets an injury, well, that's a whole family that now can't be taken care of, because when mom is down, everyone suffers.
Yeah.
You know, I've never been good at when I get sick, when I don't feel good, I become this wimp. You know, I got a stuffy nose, I got a tummy ache. You know, meanwhile, you know, I've got, you know, my wife is just this like, just superwoman. When she gets sick, she just powers through everything. But the times when we were younger and my kids were young, when she would get sick, and I'm left in charge, it doesn't really go very well.
Yeah.
You know, you can't give kids cake for breakfast. Well, you know, I did. It's just the way it works. What do you mean pizza at 3 a.m? But seriously though, you know, it goes beyond just the one person, especially if that one person is the caregiver. So you might not think a pair of shoes is a big deal, but it is a big deal.
It is a big deal.
And what's this age is this thing called?
God's Shoes.
God's Shoes.
And there's another organization called God's Eyes where they go in the comarca type places and they give them glasses.
Really?
I mean, it's amazing the community here and what everybody does and puts forth to just really, I mean, the little details that we take for granted, the shoes, glasses, diapers, I mean, everything that this community does. Yeah,
you don't even think about some of this stuff. You know, I obviously, as you know, I wear eyeglasses. And I've been wearing glasses since I'm 5 years old. My eyes are useless.
Yeah.
My vision is 21,000 instead of.
Holy cow.
And it's terrible. I have to have these glasses specially made to be ground down, because if it was regular glass, they'd be Coke bottles.
Wow.
It would really be about a quarter inch thick. And when I don't have my I'm dead in the water without my glasses. I can't get up. I can't walk around. I can't see anything. You know, it's like I'm fumbling around in the dark. And you don't think about that maybe if you don't wear glasses, but some of these kids and these families need glasses. That's a big deal.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, to the point
for like being able to learn how to read. I mean, everything. It's they're kids that can't see well, and
I'm going to have to make a concerted effort here to try to get a hold of some of the people that run these things, because you know there are some times where, you know, finding people to come on the show is usually not difficult, but sometimes they got cancellations at the last minute. You know, and I'd like to if you run a charity out there, let me know. You know, chances are you probably already know Chris. But we like to have, you know, those kind of guests on the show. You know, I try to focus on people doing positive things. There's enough bad news out there.
Yeah.
Right. So I try to focus on people who do positive things for the show. And this here, everything that we've talked about so far, seems to focus on the children.
Yeah. So as far as I try to do one event per month at one of the restaurants.
Yeah.
To raise funds for something, and I've actually just turned the whole project over to somebody who's going to help me because we're getting so many requests. What I've decided to do is I'm going to let the staff of the restaurant decide which, because there's so many needs out there. We can't.
Oh, they will probably know too. It's part of the community.
So I like it. I like their staff is now, they get together and they say, okay, and they decide which one they want to do.
Wow.
And that makes them feel more a part of it.
Well, yeah.
And like I really like it. And I don't know what took me so long to come up with that. But.
Well, look, there's so much need. It's really kind of hard to try to hone in and focus in on one thing, because you got a lot coming at you. 7 or 8 or 10 or 20 different charities want your. It's probably the best thing you could have done was find an organization, and that's what they do. This is what we do. We help you organize with charities.
Yeah,
it takes a lot off of you, but it also still allows you to be a major part of that. You can keep your titles.
Yeah.
The Prime Minister. Yeah, that's actually, I don't even know who started that. I didn't start that. Someone had.
You did? Really?
Oh, one of my guests on the show referred to you as the godfather of giveaways.
Really?
I can't remember who it was. It was so long ago. And I wrote that down. When something like that, I write it down. And
nice.
It's like, yeah. Well, look, it's important to be able to do the things that we like to do as expats. And we like to go out to eat. We like to go do our shopping. We like to take advantage of things that are available to us here. But one of the things that I maintain, which obviously I know you guys feel that way, is it's fine to do that, but don't forget, there's still, this is still a developing nation, and I don't ever refer to a country as first world or second world or third world, because
I don't think that's politically correct anymore.
Well, it doesn't even mean it. I mean, third world country was actually when the term came out, and those terms were invented by the United States military.
Really?
And first world nations were allies of the United States, and third world nations were allies of the Axis powers, of our enemies.
Interesting.
And there was no ever second world. That I can remember. So you either are a developed nation, a developing nation, or an underdeveloped nation. And Panama is a developing nation, and it's developing at a very rapid rate. There's a lot of change going on here with our economy, with our infrastructure, and as you know, even locally, look at what Haswire has accomplished with the roads and I know everyone complains, the water is out, and this is all because of the growing pains. Yeah. And what we have to do. But we shouldn't forget that there is still a lot of need here for our help. And we shouldn't just come here and be oblivious to it. Which is one of the reasons why I try to bring these causes out on the show every Friday, because there's a lot of us here, there's a lot of us who foreigners here, and a lot of us here, comparatively to the local population, have quite a bit of money. And it may not seem that way if you compare it to, when I was living in the States, or when I was living in Germany, when I was living in here. And I have traveled extensively all over the world, and there is a marked difference between developed nations and developing nations. And while developing nations are doing their best to try to bring their population a better quality of life, there are still needs, and one of the most important needs in the scheme of needs has to do with children. It always has to come back to the children, because what's that saying from that song back in the I believe the children are our future and all that. Well, there's a lot of that's kind of accurate.
Yeah.
If we care of our kids, and if we don't give them the opportunities to have a proper education, proper medical attention, and the development that they need, what's going to happen when they get to be, old enough to be involved in taking care of theirs and all that? So this is kind of a big deal, and I've always thought it was a big deal, and I'm really, it's heartwarming to know that there are people in this town, such as yourself, Chris, that recognizes this and goes out of their way to make events and to bring this out into the open and to provide a venue where people can help. Because a lot of people might not just write a check or put money up, but they'll go out to eat. If there's anything that we gringos like to do, is go out to eat.
That's true. That's true. And it's apparently opening restaurants in Boquete is a sport, so going out to eat, and so
well, there are restaurants, and then there are restaurants. Now, I'm just saying, but we've got 2 3 minutes. We got about 5 minutes left, so let's do a recap on what we've learned today so far. So we're getting some information here coming in on our devices.
Hot off the facts.
Hot off the facts.
Hold on, wait, it's printing.
Ticker tape.
All right, so Nutra-Hogar, the pickup spots today and tomorrow, Super Brew David, City Mall, David.
Farmacia Arrocho.
Farmacia Rocha, David.
Yeah.
That's the one in Gringo Corners. Right?
11, yeah, in El Rey, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. If you're unable to go to David, you can pick up something here in town. Jamie's going to read off a few ingredients for us that we can pick up, and you can bring them to Big Daddy's Grill, Boulder 54, Hostel Mama Yena, Tap Out Sports Zone, and there's special milks, there's diapers, there's what else is there, Jamie?
Well,
do you have the list?
They need a lot of special milk.
Hold on, let's talk about what is special milk. That's like the powder milk, right? Is that what?
Yeah.
Okay. And so I guess because these kids are so malnourished, these milks are light on the stomach and full of extra vitamins, and I think maybe that's why.
So enriched powder
just like
milk.
clean needle, that's an example. Millets, naan, and the other things that they need, some pancakes.
A Bisquick.
They need pancakes.
Mix?
Pancakes, the mix, salt.
Leche de Two basic ingredients then. I guess.
Yeah. So I hope.
Can you buy needles over the counter? That's what
needles?
Didn't you say?
Did you say needles?
No, I say leche de al and flour, harina.
Okay.
Maybe that's a brand of milk.
Soaps. Some soap for the kids, Pampers.
So diapers, soap, milk, salt, toothpaste, probably toothpaste, toothbrushes.
That's a lot of list.
Cleaning supplies. I mean, they just built somebody donated a new kitchen to them.
Wow.
It's this nice kitchen so the kids can, I mean, it's cool.
Yeah.
It really is cool. And they allow people to go in and play with the kids. So if you're looking for something to do as well, that's something that you can set up.
There's some volunteers that want to go and help.
They always accept volunteers.
Of course, yeah, sure. Well, I'm gonna post all of this on. It'll be in the usual places: Boquete Community Group, Boquete News, Expats, and all that. After we take our picture, I will go and post all of that, and the video, whatever video we got over here, I'll put that on my YouTube channel, and all the links to everything will be there. But collections today and tomorrow, and throughout the rest of the month.
Yep, the rest of the month at the 4 locations.
Yeah, Big Daddy's.
Today and tomorrow in David.
And today and tomorrow in David. Big Daddy's, Boulder 54, Mama Yena's Hostel. And, I know where that is now because I just realized as I come home, I always see your car there.
It's very popular.
It's like, yes, it's you're literally 8 blocks from my house.
Oh, yeah?
I live right up the street from you. And at Tap Out. These items, which I'll list. If you can text me or text Chris and have Chris text me that list. I'll put that on there too, so you all know what they need. And help the kids, right?
Exactly.
That's what we're looking to do. I'm trying to figure out how much time we got left.
So
2 minutes.
Thanks again, donuts from the garden. Wow, holy cow!
Yeah, wow.
So fit, you're awesome. Thanks for the donuts.
Donut up there, and I'm looking at the box.
Like a few years ago.
Inside the box. But we'll leave that for Salika. It's wow. All right. So
are we getting kicked off the air?
No, we got
is it that song playing where it's like get off the stage?
We used to call that the hook song.
The hook song.
Back in my radio days in New York, you're talking and you hear this music, you're like, all right, that means I got a minute. And if I'm not done in a minute, they just cut you off.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't know. I don't think they do that to us here, but ABC Radio in New York is a little more stringent on their times.
Yeah, don't they charge you or fine you for every second of dead air?
If you went over every minute, it was like it was $10,000 to $15,000 a minute.
Wow,
that you were fined. So you made sure that when you heard that music, you had a minute, and you better shut up in a minute. So anyway, I want to thank you guys, Chris Young from Chris Young's Restaurant Empire, and Jamie Guerra from Mama Yanis, and on behalf of Nutri Hogar, and again, you'll have all that information. This was fun, right? We had a good time here.
Jamie was nervous, yelling at me. I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk.
No, we love doing these type of things for the kids, and
it really is. It really is very important, though. I mean, I'm all kidding aside. It really is. These kids will die without proper nutrition.
Well, it's that serious. It's life and death. It really is.
It's a life and death situation. So if you're out and about today, check on Facebook for the list in a little while and pick something up. What's a bag of diapers going to set you back $10, $8, $9 or something like that? Grab a few things. That $20 that you were going to spend on goofy stuff, for yourself, take that and you can fill up a shopping bag with some of the milk, a toothbrush. What toothbrush? You get a pack of 2 for 80 cents.
We will give you all the list.
They're not asking for a huge to sacrifice half of your monthly income, but $20-$30 will go a really long way.
They'll literally save a kid's life.
It'll save a kid's life. So thank you, Chris and Jamie. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Al.
You have been listening to Boquete Now, Talk Radio, sponsored by Big Daddy's Grill, Boulder 54, Tap Out Sports Zone, and for today, hasta mañana. You do that?
Yeah, nice.
We thank you, The Garden, for your delicious donuts, and I'm going to try to snap
every Friday they sell those.
Every Friday?
I always get there too late, and they're sold out, so you got to get there quick.
Well, you get there early, and you can get donuts, and then go next door to see more.
Yeah, and fill up on baked goods.
On baked goods. Yeah, I'm going to get so fat, but that's all right though. I'm not dating.
I love gluten.
Oh my gosh! Anyway,
nice.
Thank you guys for being here. This is Boquete Now Talk Radio, as I said, sponsored by Big Daddy's Boulder, Tap Out, and again for today, hasta mañana. Go down there. We want to give you and thank you, people from The Garden. We'll be back next Friday with some more information for you, and I'm trying to see if I can get Rigo back on the show. Rigo, if you're listening, I'm talking about you, so but in a good way. We are on every Friday here on Radio Cherokee 103.3 FM. Y'all have a wonderful day, or as they say here in Panama, pasen buen tardes. I guess it's the afternoon.
Is it afternoon?
Is it afternoon? No, okay, so pasen buen día. We will see you next week. Thank you very much. Good night.
Ciao, ciao.
Let's go. Radio Chiriquí 103.3.
Las noticias falsas a través de las redes sociales son hoy una verdadera epidemia. Ponen en peligro la democracia moderna y la seguridad pública. Un estudio reveló que el 75% de las personas creen en las noticias falsas, ya que consideran